welcome back to Cultural Appropriation Month.
Yeah.
This fall, 6 cities prepare for 2 rebels with a cause. Phoenix, Houston, Charleston, Nashville, New York, Baltimore. The Rebels with a Cause Comedy Tour. Tickets on sale now at louderwithcrowder.com/tour.
Very glad to be with you. Ooh, that's tasty. I got a new tea in there. Yeah. I feel like an affected jerk already. We have a lot to talk about today. So here's one thing a lot of people have been asking. Many of you have been saying, hey, people have been saying that the president doesn't control gas prices. That's false. There's more to it than that, but that statement itself is false. Fact check. 19 Pinocchios. And then there's also been a shift. You just had the first ever Mexican-born female congresswoman. Congress Z. She'd be fine with women because she's a lady. And there's a huge demographic shift taking place here in the United States. Now, just to be clear, I want to warn everyone out there that I am not advocating for open borders at all. I am not denying the reality of demographic voting patterns at all. I'm just letting you know that there's a silver lining and one that could definitively tip elections in certain states. And it's a good thing. So we'll be talking about that. Also, we'll be talking about fat ladies on horses. You'll understand in a few seconds. But
or not on horses.
And my question to you before I move on, what changes are you making as it relates to gas prices? Are you making changes? Because I didn't even have an empty tank, and I went and I filled it up. It was 107 the other day.
Jeez. I just put it in my rectum.
Yes.
Yes.
You're getting screwed either way.
Yep.
It's a weight loss. It's like an enema.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even those people that do the coffee enemas? They're like, yeah, coffee enemas. It detoxifies.
I just call it coffee with my bowels.
Yeah, well, it's like doing the coffee butt chuck.
Yes.
By the way, fastest wit in the West, fastest man on his feet, quickest man on his feet, and I will be on tour with him and I together.
Ahoy.
6 cities, huge venues. We will be in Phoenix, Houston, Charleston, West Virginia.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Nashville.
Ahoy.
Red Bank because New York wouldn't have us.
Ahoy.
And Baltimore. Go to louderwithcrowder.com/tour. Phoenix has been selling out like, not selling out, but selling like crazy.
Like hot cakes?
Yep. And some people saying, why don't you do more than that? Because we have to do it. If you want the show to go on hiatus, I would love to do that. I would love to do shows every day. I would love to, at some point, just be like, look, I'm taking a 2-month break and just do 30, 40 live shows. But I can't do it. You can't please everybody. All right. And Gerald, my best man, how are you, sir?
I am well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not as pissed off today?
No, I'm optimistic. I'm mad.
But optimistic.
It's a consistent low-grade irritation.
Yeah, but Elon Musk made you happy by
Elon
voting
Musk,
Republican for the first time.
African-American voting Republican.
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
So before we get to that, we need to, I don't know if you know that we have a former Vice President, Joseph Biden. He was talking about the economy at an AFL-CIO convention conference. I don't know how they refer to it. And he did have, he wasn't really a stoic. He had a tough time controlling his emotions. Which, you reach that certain age, left brain, right brain, no brain, brings us to This Week in Biden.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Why? Guy left my employment, went to another job. Because he got paid more.
Wall Street didn't build this country.
The middle class built this country, and unions built the middle class. Under my plan, last year, we cut the deficit by $350 billion. I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending or changing people's lives. Just imagine if you're in a situation where you're going to able to be in a position where pay for preschool for kids. I'm deadly earnest. Where 55 of the largest Fortune 500 companies made $40 billion. The insurance company has to cover it. It's because of that law. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 in federal income tax. Let's continue to give working families a fighting chance. Face our challenges head on, and let's keep building a better America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Huh.
Didn't realize the former vice president was a white supremacist.
I
There.
know,
Yeah.
a lot of it, too.
I think he just hit a few threes. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, we also have a costume contest tomorrow. It's Cultural Appropriation Month, Taiwan. I loved. I was watching The View yesterday, and what's her name? Sunny, not Sunny Liston.
It's the only one I know.
Sunny Hostin. That's right, Sunny Hostin.
Sunny
But,
Sunny hostess, yeah.
It's basically a synonym. Sunny Liston, Sunny Hostin. Put them in a lineup. Can't tell the difference. Sunny Hostin was talking with Joe Behar. They're saying, yeah, because Donald Trump is no spring chicken. He's 78, and Biden will be 81. And Joe Behar goes, and Biden works out. Biden works out every day. Trump, you look at him, not so much like, yeah, but Donald Trump isn't mentally retarded.
Well, he can string a sentence together and hold his bowels.
Very true.
Yeah.
Which one of you crapped at the Vatican? That would be Biden.
Yeah, that'd be him.
On the floor, by the way.
Praying to the Lord that he didn't.
But even God hates him.
Yep.
So, I got an indulgence for you, Joe.
I used it all.
I was hoping for 0 poops. No.
Oh.
Is this more purgatory time?
Yeah. How'd I get out of here? Oh, I need to confess. He thinks a confessional booth is a porta potty. Stop, Joe.
Just grabs like the Pope hat or a Cardinal hat.
Every time he reaches for their hat, they're going,
Stop it, Joe. I know what you want.
Joe.
It is not a bathroom.
No.
It's a hat.
I'm going to go too.
all right, so this is so we've talked about this in the past. We've talked about this in the past, and now we're seeing this come to fruition. And I want to get into this. I don't want to get too granular so that your eyes glaze over, but the Latino American, Hispanic American, the not Latinx Americans, because I would never pander to them, and I don't want to get shanked. They hate that term, Latinx.
Oh, yeah.
There really is a change, and we've always talked about how it makes sense. But now we've just seen on Tuesday, Mayra Flores became the first Republican to win Texas's 34th district since 1870. So we have first Republican since 1870, also the first Mexican-born congresswoman. Here she is.
We are live here at Mayra Flores'
That's a
watch
different
party
Mexican.
where the Republican candidate for Congressional
Indian.
District 34 is celebrating
brown.
following her congressional win tonight. I spoke with her earlier tonight where she shared her thoughts about her candidacy.
I see the potential in us. We have all the ingredients to be successful, and I just want to bring better jobs, better opportunities so our children don't have to leave South Texas for those opportunities. Why can't we have that here? And I just think that we're worth fighting for.
Now, Flores has garnered over 50% of the vote, meaning she will now assume former Representative Filemon Vela's seat. She would only hold this seat until January.
Can you say diversity higher?
By the way, what did they...
Reading former boom goes the dynamite?
Yeah, why did they have that meeting at like a techno dance club with all the lights in the music?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I love how no matter how great technology gets, we still can't stop the delay in newscasters.
Right. Yeah.
Just that awkward pause of like, okay, now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here. Okay, and can you tell us about what I'm sorry. You go. I was going to speak. You go.
Yes.
All right, I was going. It happened again. Okay, I'm sorry.
I cannot hear over the dancing music.
Yes, there are Chechnyan club goers. I like to party. So the point is, it was a horrible place to host your victory party. But first Mexican-born American congresswoman.
Yeah.
Mexican-born congresswoman. She's now American, not Mexican-American born. She was born in Mexico. You can't be born in both. I mean, maybe if you were born right in the middle of the border, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right on the fence, because they don't have a wall.
No.
And first person to win, Republican to win this district since the 1800s. Now, Joe Biden won this district, keep in mind, at least won by 4 points in 2022. 4 points. Something before I get to the Hispanic community. There's also a shift in the African-American community, as seen that last night Elon Musk, for the very first time, voted Republican. Yeah, he tweeted out, I voted for Mayra Flores, first time I ever voted Republican, massive red wave in 2022. And then when he was asked who he was leaning toward in the 2024 presidential race, he responded just one word, DeSantis.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that until we started looking at this. But by the way, for him to say massive red wave.
Yeah.
Like, this is a guy who's going to take a lot of crap for that.
He's
okay with it.
Yeah. Well, this is a perfect example of there can be no intellectual consistency on the left because no one passes the purity test. No. There would be nobody who you could name who should be more of a darling of the eco left, the neo-environmentalist left. Should have to be, right? Should have to be Musk. And even not too long ago, they were saying, get an electric car. Mm-hmm. But now they hate him because he had to move electric car facilities from California to Texas. Think about that. If the left, if their policies worked as it relates to encouraging green energy, they would all flock to California. It can't be done there, but it can be done in Texas. All right. So here's something else that's pretty important. She flipped Cameron County. That's 85% Hispanic. Now, Biden won that county by 13 points in 2020. Hillary Clinton by 33 points.
Jeez.
Wow.
33 points. This is part of a large trend.
Legitimately.
Yes.
Well,
supposedly.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
Legit, most fair and balanced.
She dominioned the vote.
Yes.
Considering that Democrats' whole strategy is getting Hispanic voters to turn out for them because they're getting their butts kicked in just about every other category, that's massive, going from 33 up to 16.
Well, this is part of a nationwide trend. This is important for people to understand. And you'll hear people who say demographics are destiny. I understand what they're talking about. I understand that millions of illegal immigrants flooding across the border who are promised, welfare benefits, who are promised a social safety net that they haven't paid into, that's a real problem. I understand that. I am talking about Hispanic voters who usually have been here for 2 generations removed, or they migrated here, call it the last 10, 20 years. There's a generational shift if you look at it. But 26% of Hispanics right now across the country approve of Biden's performance. 26%
that's low.
approve compared to whites, which is 31%.
Yeah, that's got to be scaring the crap out of these guys.
It seems high. Have you seen the guy?
Right.
I want to know who the 26% are.
Yeah, I think that's
really low number.
And 54% of Hispanics disapprove of Biden's performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
And this is important. Hispanic Democrats, they're 10% more likely to consider just completely switching parties than Hispanic Republicans.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a disapproval with Hispanic voters who are Democrats, and you're seeing them disapprove of Biden's handling of the economy. And then there's the inherent values that you see often with especially Latin American Catholics.
Yeah.
They're not Democrats by nature. They've been promised free stuff for a long time, but once you're here legally and you're paying taxes, you go, wait, hold on a second. Maybe we need people to sign the guest book.
Yeah. Well, they've been promised free stuff as a step to prosperity, right? The Democrats have been saying, like, we're going to get you in. We're going to get you here. You're going to have free stuff. You're going to get jobs. You're going to be able to do this. And they're seeing that isn't happening and has not been happening historically for them. The Democrats' promises are falling short. And then they're seeing the social things that they're like, how in the world, as a big family culture, like, they are not for all the stuff that the Democrats are pushing right now, and it's turning them away. So just keep doing what you're doing, Democrats, please.
I mean, I don't even think there's a Spanish words for drag queen story hour.
I don't. They're like.
I think it's no.
Yeah. It's the bottomless pit is that way.
This is no good.
Yes.
Cartel.
Eh?
That's all.
Yes. Pretty soon your head's going to be on a turtle.
Yes, enjoy.
I
You're
would
right.
not pick it up if I were you.
No, and look, I would love to hear from you below if you are, Hispanic American, Mexican American, South American. What I want to hear from you is what issue would there be that you think you can have them comment below. What issue would there be? You can be a little quicker to the draw there. 2-1 on that. If I don't want to say comment below. If I don't need to say comment or question of the day. Enemy's like, you need to say comment below.
I will not do it unless.
I won't. He will test you and you will not hit the trigger.
Hold.
And then later when I'm 2 segments in, now!
Come on.
No, genuinely, what issue would there be that you inherently think Hispanic voters would be attracted to on with the Democratic platform? When I have these, son of a bitch. When I have these conversations, sorry, CNN is distracting me. They're showing Biden as though his speech yesterday was great.
Right. Yeah.
When I have conversations with what are you going to have a conversation with a Hispanic American like? Oh yeah, and hey, isn't it horrible that people here have the ability to get guns? See, get guns. Yes, here to protect. Mm-hmm. Isn't it horrible that you can't have abortions up until birth? No, it's Jesus say that's killing babies. Can you believe that they're not taxing people more? I don't like taxes. There's no issue that I can think of where they would inherently be a Democrat.
Yeah. No, I really don't see them winning for this with any of the plans that they have put out so far. And I know that we're still a little bit of a ways away, and right now it's a little bit early to see. This congresswoman that we're talking about is only holding her seat until January, until there's another election cycle for this. This is kind of a special election. But
placeholder.
I really want to see more of these kinds of results to just show you the first person, a Republican, because we're called the party that's racist.
Right.
That's holding everybody down.
Here's the thing. You see a trend, right? Donald Trump was 29%. He won the Hispanic vote in 2016. 32% in 2020. That's the most for a Republican since 2004. Now, do the math on that. Okay, he won 32% of the Hispanic vote. If you're looking at these trends, people who disapprove, who approve, you don't need to win. Republicans don't need to win the Hispanic vote. But if you reduce that margin to, let's say you get 40%, maybe 42%, Republicans don't lose another election ever, not to mention in local elections, particularly in states like Texas and states like Arizona. Yeah. That is a huge difference. And that's why, I do, when people vilify the wrong people, the people we should be mad at are suburban white bitches.
That's true.
Pretty much. But you just said those states. Think about California. Think about their Hispanic population and how that can change California.
Yep.
If that ever happens, Republicans run the board. There is no contest.
Yeah, and
everybody.
Yes, and here's the thing. They're the least likely voting bloc to get out and vote. So if you make this shift and then you encourage them to vote, meaning legal citizens, of course, most of them, by the way, support voter ID, legal immigrants. That's another thing people don't tell you. It's over 70% of Hispanic Americans. If you get this shift, you win them by, let's say, 40-something%. Not win them, but just reduce your margin of loss. And you get more of them out to vote, that's a huge difference. That's a big change. Now, if you could do the same thing and just reduce your losses with, upper middle class suburban white women to, win 10% of them. You know what? Just get 50% of them more to work.
Just have free wine the day of the election.
Get them a job. They can pay taxes.
Good to go.
How about that? How about them apples, suffragettes? So in 2022, also this is important to note, Donald Trump flipped Zapata County in South Texas for the first time in 100 years.
Zapata.
June 2021, McAllen, Texas, 85% Hispanic there. They elected their first Republican mayor in 24 years. Now, here's something else. And you should always assume that your opponent is smart and be pleasantly surprised when they're not. Assume that AOC is a genius. Assume that she is a member of Mensa, and you'll never have a problem with her.
That's hard.
Well,
I know.
It makes me more upset.
Yeah, I know. I feel like there should be a qualifier that you can't be a member of Mensa if you're that googly.
No, you can't. Not with those crazy eyes.
No, it's like, hold on a second. Are those real eyes? Did you buy them at Michael's?
Why are they so big?
Now, AOC is a perfect example of how the left is also doing our work for us. They're turning off Latinos. They're turning off Hispanics. For example, by using terms like Latinx, which no Hispanic Americans like.
I also have a mini rant about this because there are some politicians, including Democratic politicians, that rail against the term Latinx. And they're like, this is so bad. This is so bad for the party, like blah, blah, blah. And it's almost as though it has not struck some of these folks that another person's identity is not about your reelection prospects.
This is so first off, I don't know if maybe a bright idea could strike her. And by that, I mean a man, last name idea, first name bright. Kidding.
Mr. Idea.
Mr. Idea.
Go ahead.
I see you've come back again, Mr. Bright. Ow, ow.
This time the brass knuckles.
I bet you if she fell down a well, her eyes would go straight back. I don't know.
Oh man,
Oh, it is. Kicked by a mule, went cross again.
So she says it's not about your reelection, someone else's identity. Okay, irony alert. Only 3% or less of Hispanics say that they use the term or even like it. So she's speaking, and by the way, she also speaks for the extinct people of Puerto Rico. She also speaks for the Native Americans, and by the way, that just includes all the above: the Cheyenne, the Apaches of Lakota, people who are at war with each other. She speaks for all of them, and now she speaks for Hispanics, saying, Republicans you don't understand someone else's identity. Well, why do you get to choose that to be the identity when 97% of the people in question think you're full of crap?
And by the way, miss, go down to a parking lot and have a photographer go with you to decry these cages. You're telling me that somebody's saying, hey, Latinx isn't great for the party. You pander to everyone.
Right.
You try to go and get votes by staging pictures like you actually give a damn, and you don't.
Yeah.
So let's not be holier than thou.
So where was she when the cages were put there?
Oh, she was tending bar, I think.
Oh, right.
She was at Latinx salsa night.
Well,
Would you even trust her to make a drink?
that's a fair question.
I mean, honestly.
I'd sooner drink with Bill Cosby.
Yeah, me too.
I would sooner have a drink with Bill Cosby, go up to the restroom for 20 minutes to give him plenty of time to roofie me, and then come back.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you'd both end up screwed. It doesn't really matter.
Right, exactly. But, she's screwing her constituency. So the point is, either way, you end up screwed.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, she's worried about getting her majority. Like we learned this.
Yeah, by
yesterday.
doing things
Wonder
like
why.
keeping high wages out of her district,
Yeah.
like getting rid of Amazon.
No, shut up, guys. It's a winning strategy. Keep high wages out of her district and keep using the term Latinx.
Can we get a full
Your ace is AOC. By the way, nary a large organization dollar, right? Get money out of politics. There's no way that's what's happening with AOC. If you have this disconnect where you go, how in the hell can a functionally retarded, googly-eyed, crazy lady went, well, you know what? Follow the money trail. Because if it doesn't make sense, it's because it doesn't make sense. But what do I know? I'm not one of the 3% who identify as Latinx.
Just me. Dave X.
Oh, gosh. Can we all start going by that?
Sounds like a horrible band.
You know.
In XS.
X.
Just the band X.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Was it Static X and then they became X?
Yeah, I think so, but they were X.
X.
That's the sign.
Not to mention, gonna give it to you. Hey, this is a live show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. If we are not here on YouTube, best place to watch it is Mug Club, louderwithcarter.com/Mug Club. We'll have a promo tomorrow. We do an extra full hour of show. We'll be playing What's in the Box today, and I don't know what's in the box, which means we can't play it on YouTube. And of course, if you want to watch the free show, you can go to Rumble. Here's a story that, you're an animal lover, and so am I, Dave.
Very much so. 2 dogs, love them.
So this was a problem for us. An animal shelter in California has announced that it will not give out pets to Second Amendment supporters. Yeah, and this is what they said. They said, we do not support those who believe that the Second Amendment gives them the right to buy assault weapons.
Huh?
If your belief are not in line with ours, we will not adopt a pet to you. Now, of course, the initial response, and I don't want to say rightfully so, is that these people are assholes.
Right.
But upon further look, we are willing to obviously concede and hopefully find common ground.
Yeah.
Most of the gun statistics that you have out there are BS. For example, that your gun is more likely to be used against you. Well, that's not true.
Right.
But as it relates to this, their concerns are understandable. There is a serious problem with irresponsible gun owners who have guns in the home with pets.
It's true.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear.
Get a trigger lock.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Better than this.
Wasn't that chocolate lab adorable?
Was.
Yeah.
Chocolate lab.
Was.
Get a gun safe.
Come on, man.
I can't imagine.
I actually, you know what? This is something that happened to me. There was a dog named Mr. Big. Before I got Hopper, before I got Joe Louis, I worked with, and he was a big American Bulldog pit bull, probably mix. I don't know. He was very big, maybe Great Dane mix. He's about 100.
Cigar smoking gangster.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Played a lot of poker.
Yes.
And I worked at a no-kill shelter in Michigan. And everyone was afraid of this dog. Everyone was terrified of this dog because he would be jumping up on the cage at the kennel. Turned out he just didn't get a lot of attention because people were afraid of him. So I would open it up. He was the sweetest dog, the most affectionate. He didn't learn to not jump in excitement.
Yeah.
And I volunteered at the shelter for a while, and I said, you know what? He's older. He's 9 years old. No one else was going to take him. I said, I feel like I know how to handle him. I've been working with him for a couple of months. I would love to adopt him. And the person who ran the shelter knew about my politics and said, I would never give you any dog from here.
That's messed up.
Yep.
Wow.
And I still think about it. I mean, I know he's probably passed now, but it made me sad for a very, very long time because this dog is just, everyone else is afraid of him. I'm willing to take him. You're going to let politics. I also might have offended her when they showed the dog training video. And, this is how you do. This is how you look for body language. And at the end, she goes, what did you think of the training video? I said, well, you got to love that mid-90s Saved by the Bell font. Like, is that all you noticed? That's all you noticed was the font?
I mean, Comic Sans, come on.
No, it's not all I noticed.
I was trying to make conversation.
Learned about the ears and the tail and the body rigidity.
Get her.
That's so funny.
She wouldn't give me the dog.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's so stupid, by the way, for them to say, hey, if you're a Second Amendment believer, they didn't say what they really wanted to say there. This is saying you want to buy assault rifles. Like, if you want guns at all, they said assault rifles, but I mean, if you think you should be able to own a gun, period, we're not going to give a dog to you.
If you have a dog that's deemed dangerous, wouldn't it be better that you're a Second Amendment?
You would think so.
Just in case.
Not only that, think about this for a second. Yeah, people who have firearms more likely to be hunters. You've heard of hunting dogs. These are people who are far more likely to use dogs for their intended purpose, unlike someone with a strap on at Drag Queen Story Hour. Who do you think is more likely to abuse a dog? Do they have a policy on that? Hey, look, we're sorry. If you fall into the category of a 41% attempted suicide rate because of what was previously diagnosed as mental illness, we're not going to give you a dog. Instead, it's just you own an inanimate object, no dog for you. I would actually wager, no one's going to run these numbers, that firearm owners probably make far better dog owners. You know why? Because they're not when you see a woman with a stupid little dog who's yapping and they pick it up and reward that behavior, and you're going, that's not a gun owner.
No, that can't possibly be.
Yeah.
How do they find out anyway? Do they have like a checklist of like, hey, do you support the Second Amendment? How is that even legal for them to ask?
I can't even ask if someone who works here is a Mormon. Now,
that's fair.
I asked. It's a yes.
It's a yes. We love you, bro.
Don't send us hate mail.
Huh?
This happened the other day where I was making a joke about Mormon raptors because it was the Utah raptor.
Yeah.
And then I realized we had someone. I was like, wait. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, we had like a raptor with like a holy underwear. He was like, it's funny. I don't care.
I joked. Remember the Moab bomb? I was like, can we drop this somewhere in Utah? And they were like, hey. And I was like, no, I meant like because there's not a lot of stuff in a lot of places and it wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, didn't they let off bombs there for a while?
Well, I think
like tested them in sections?
I don't know. It sounds about right.
Nevada.
Okay, before we move on to
I
gas
only know
prices.
movies.
Yeah. You're going to love this next one because, this requires a panoramic lens. This curve model, famous TikToker Raimi Bader, was just recently. This is a story. It's been making the rounds. The latest outrage, I don't know if you know this, obese is now considered a slur, just like yesterday was spaz,
Really?
now is obese. But when they say they're living their truth, unfortunately, sometimes that truth doesn't coincide with the reality of weight limits. She was kicked out of a ranch for being too heavy. This is her video. It says, shout out to Deep Hollow Ranch in Montauk for making me leave because I weigh over 240.
Her music.
Yeah, not ours.
Yeah, her music. I don't know why she added the Rocky. What's the victory?
No, I think it's because she's a heavyweight.
I think it's because it's the first. It's Rocky Road.
Yeah. Then later she has a what is it? Alone in the Ring overture. Later she's just a fan of Rocky music. She gets on a Clydesdale and
By the way, she's living her truth and several other people's truth as well.
Yeah. She has a trash can robot.
They have her on an ox. There's no easy way out. There's no shortcuts home.
You just see a crushed pony in the corner.
Yeah. Just like that dog, it's just a cow jumping up against it.
That's a huge bitch.
And by the way, most disappointed by this, black guy centaurs. So that's, they were not thrilled.
Yeah.
Now,
missed opportunity.
It's a weight limit.
And you weren't kicked out. You were just told you couldn't ride the horse.
You were told you couldn't ride that horse because it requires a spine.
They'd like it to not be severed.
Yes, the horse all of a sudden spoke and told us she's too heavy.
We just had people who wouldn't give dogs to Second Amendment owners. Where are the animal cruelty advocates here?
Yeah. By the way, you know who else would be not kicked out, but not allowed to ride?
You!
Me! I weigh 240 pounds.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, hey, you probably can't. I wouldn't
Fat
go, oh,
piece
how
of shit.
dare you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
My God.
I also wouldn't, throw a fit and make a TikTok about it either.
Yeah, go get the
you would.
Space Odyssey theme and do a video.
Anybody would. I can barely get on one, and I'm sure.
Right. It's just Dave not reaching the stirrups and Chariots of Fire playing. Like, why?
They're
What's
like,
the
it's
music selection?
Yeah.
It's just a height thing.
Yeah. We should just
Dude,
let people do
you
what they
get a
want.
step ladder.
This is one of those things. Can you believe that they wouldn't let me ride the horse?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
of course. Yeah,
They didn't want to shoot it in the face after.
exactly.
Turn it to glue.
Exactly.
It's not-
Yeah. You know what? Well, actually, we have a horse for you. Elmer, come over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
He's got wonky AOC eyes. Except he's much smarter.
But he's charming.
Did better on the Mensa test.
Right. So here's something I will say. The employee of the ranch, and this is a problem with social media. This is one of the employees of the ranch, a young person, allegedly the owner's son. Not a good response. Back in the day, this would have been a private dust-up, but now it lives on forever. Responded to Bader's video.
When you're not a fat bitch, you can ride a Deep Hollow Ranch.
Okay, he's been drinking.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit. And working around animals. That's a good combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but
No,
that's...
kidding.
Back in the day, you would have made that mistake as a kid. You would have talked to them. They would have, hey, don't do that. We're sorry. Here's a free gift certificate so you can go ruin the horses at the ranch over one... People's not here. Yeah.
We're going to order a giant Clydesdale.
Yes, exactly.
When we find a species that can hold you, we'll call you back.
Yeah. Once they're retiring the Budweiser horses, you're like, you can have this other one. We were going to send it to Coors.
Yeah. There's a dinosaur ranch that's just right for you.
It's just she just gets on the skeleton and bones just fall through like son. So Deep Hollow Ranch, they addressed the situation on Facebook. They said, we would like to apologize to anyone who this offended. Well, look, that was clearly meant to offend. And we do not condone or agree with any part of that employee's video. That should be enough.
Yeah. I agree with some parts.
Right. I mean, I agree with the biological argument.
Yeah.
Not so much the
Too
nomenclature.
heavy.
Yeah,
Right,
drinking and being an idiot is not a good
Right.
idea ever.
And you shouldn't broadcast it.
No.
So here's the thing. The backlash, though, now has been unbelievable. The event organizer cut ties with the ranch, saying, we will not work with Deep Hollow Ranch again. Inclusivity and kindness are rooted in our foundation. And social media also called for spamming them with one-star Yelp reviews. Yeah. I hope your business has a plan B. Shut this place down. Take Deep Hollow Ranch down. And by the way, the ranch's website, they have this listed that a rider of Bader's size would require at least a 1,200-pound horse.
Oh, wow.
And they have
Horses
a list.
are heavy.
They have a list for. They have a list of horses for riders over 250, and at the top they literally have Clydesdale.
Don't exactly have a lot of Clydesdales hanging out for you to ride. By the way, the organizer of this was Hampton Water Rosé, owned by John Bon Jovi's son, their co-founder. They actually came into my shop when they were trying to promote this. This was them trying to do an event with influencers. What's really funny is the picture she posted of all the influencers are like incredibly skinny girls in a car and her standing next to the car.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a little weird.
Was she riding the car?
There are weight limits for all kinds of
She was riding two
vehicles,
Metro
motor
Geos like skis.
Look,
Yes,
she's
like
a bigger girl. I
wearing
get
the
it, but she should
Dodge
have just
Omnis.
said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't ride the horses because I'm too big." I mean, that it didn't seem like it needed to be a thing.
This is the problem when you don't believe in science. You believe in the science, meaning whoever your religious leader is at that point. I mean, that's really Fauci was an L. Ron Hubbard for a couple of years. So you believe in the science, but you don't believe in science. Well, this is my truth. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not. If you go to a doctor, reality is going to hit you in the face, and he's going to have to ask you, well, hold on a second. Did you pissed hot for a
Hope
pregnancy?
It's doctor reality.
You pissed hot for pregnancy? Oh, you have prostate. You have testicular cancer, right? That's the reality. But I identify as a woman, so it means I'm pregnant. No, it doesn't. Well, look, fat is just as healthy and it's just as beautiful. Okay, look, maybe some people find it just as beautiful. You know, the people who will pay you like $900 to eat a cheeseburger on a webcam. They love that. That's fine. That's your truth. But it's not the truth of the weight limit on another living being, a horse. But the problem is, how do you say it when people get to this point? We laugh about it, but if you say all bodies are the same, everything is healthy, all of a sudden you do get to a point where you can't live what is effectively a delusion until you hit a fork in the road. And at this point, she wants an actual fork in the road. She gets tired. She's going to eat. She's going to use the fork to have a snack.
Your balls have ovarian cancer.
Yes.
There you go.
Those testicles have endometriosis.
Yes. Well, I just don't.
I mean, I think
anytime you try to even talk about it, it's just difficult. It's like, look, you're too big for the horse. I'm sorry. Be an adult about it.
Yes.
Well, the guy
and you're
probably
immediately crying like, can you believe this ranch has rules?
Well, she was saying, and I read a little bit more into the story. She was saying, "Oh, you didn't post this on your website." Well, when you walk up and they go, "Hey, how much do you weigh?" Right? You're a very large. If I walk up and they go, "Sir, how much do you weigh?" and I'm like, "Oh, 240." Oh, the horse, we can't do that. They can't support the weight. Okay. Sure. Oh, that sucks. I wish I would have known. I mean, maybe I'm mad that they didn't post it, but I'm not going online and going, they're fat shaming me. I can't believe it.
Yeah, she's like if you get on a plane with her and she's like, I'm 115, and I got to be like, I'm 683 pounds.
Right, yes. I need 2 seats.
Just to average it out?
Yes. It's
unbelievable.
It's not all this. It's sorry, you can't ride a horse.
What is this, Rules Ranch? Is that what it is? It's Rules Ranch?
Go to the Budweiser Ranch.
Yes, exactly.
When did fat become a protected class?
Pizza.
Well, when everyone...
You are a child.
And we love you for
and
that.
So am I.
I guess when half of America became a protected class.
Yeah, that's true. Straight white male, not so much. Everything else, yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger wouldn't be able to, Mr. Olympias wouldn't be able to get on there. It's a weight issue. You can still say that fat is beautiful and say that you're still too heavy. That's okay. You're too heavy. You're fat. You're beautiful. You can, whatever. You just weigh too much. That's all it is. Just frame it that way.
Didn't say you're too ugly to ride the horse.
No.
I have an idea. Here's a solution. Let one of the other skinny models ride you.
Right.
There you go. Problem solved. You get to participate.
I mean, if I run a ranch and, AOC comes in, I wouldn't deny her service, but I would make her wear a specific outfit so I could, tell her and the horse apart.
They should give him 2 horses.
Yes.
Make them feel bad.
Yes.
Be like, oh, you're right. We got something for you. You have to lay across 2 saddles.
Right.
Now you feel good?
Yeah.
You're roped down.
Yeah.
Enjoy your ride.
And instead of putting your feet, you're going to have to ratchet one of those stirrups around you like Liam Neeson in The Gray when the plane goes down.
It was a free trip.
Yeah, it's called Wolf's Win, the movie.
Yeah. Whiskey for my man, fat bitches for my horses. Now,
who cares? Oh my gosh. Why do you want to ride a horse? You got cars.
Well, it was a free thing. It was a free benefit.
Yeah, but it's also probably dangerous.
Here's a free horse ride.
Obese horses.
It's probably dangerous for her to do that.
Out riding, breaking fences.
Yeah. Yes, right. Fat Parado. Why don't you come to your senses? You've been running through fences with your fat ass now. You're disgusting.
Weight.
Oh, that's just what people say. I don't know.
There's extra fruit by the foot in your glove box.
You better let a diet love you.
Before
ain't nobody gonna love you.
Oh, it is too late.
Because of your weight.
It's too late. We're taking the feet.
Of course, people can love you.
Of course.
Yes.
Good news. You lost both your legs. You can ride the horse.
Exactly. People, anyone is worthy.
Is this the Sugarfoot thing, too?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah. That's old Sugarfoot Ranch.
Type 2 ranch.
Yes.
Type 2 ranch. Why do you only have one stirrup?
Yeah.
Well.
And they just have a statue of Wilford Brimley.
Are these shoes for sale? On the horse? Yeah, you can buy them. Thank you.
I want these sandals. Those are stirrups. Well, they fit perfect.
Love them.
Fine.
Okay. You're a very strange person.
Please leave.
Look, this is the problem. It seems like it's silly, but guess what? We just had this where we can be banned on YouTube if we refer to someone who's very clearly a man as a man. And that's right. Recently, we were labeled medical misinformation for the Fat Pride panel that I crashed back at South by Southwest. That was labeled medical misinformation.
You know who didn't?
Because I asked them about the health problems associated with being obese, and they got furious. That was labeled on, we'll have that screenshot tomorrow because it probably went through my lawyer. It was labeled medical misinformation. I had to go back and watch it and say, there's literally nothing in here that could be medical it's medical information.
Yeah. Well,
just take away the miss.
Yeah, I hate that we say this all the time. The problem isn't fat people. The problem is fat people who say that is a healthy lifestyle and promote that to people, which is what this person is essentially doing.
Yes. And please say fat because obese is offensive.
Yes, obese is offensive.
How is fat okay and obese is not?
You know what? We prefer the term gross. Now, share the show.
Sweaty.
Share the show if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the share button because a lot of people also. I appreciate it. You'll be watching Crowder Bits, but a lot of people miss all of this information here in the show. So if you can tune in, that always helps because the YouTube algorithm doesn't help us or pay us anything. All right.
Hey, one quick update. The Supreme Court is releasing opinions right now, so if Roe v. Wade comes up, we'll break that for you live on the show.
I thought you were going to say this fat horse scenario got kicked up to the Supreme Court.
Not yet, but we'll break that too.
Nope, still too heavy to ride the horse.
Got forklifted to the Supreme Court?
The horse walks in, it's just like, please. Please don't let her ride.
Please don't.
I already have back problems.
Give us free.
Yeah.
So horses learning to speak to save their own lives.
Yeah. All right.
Trying to pull a toe trigger with a hoof.
Yes. That's sad because he could never get it.
No, it's just going to be.
No, he has the right to take himself out.
Call Courtney Love. She'll do it.
Clydesdale Forest in Japan. Now. One of the Paul brothers just walks through. What's this, bro? Just a bunch of Clydesdales. So
I'm going to fight now.
Question for you. We were talking about this earlier. Have you heard people say now? They didn't always used to say this, and I guarantee you they won't be saying this when naturally gas prices will probably go down at some point. Though it seems unlikely. Have you been told one of two things? Either the president doesn't have any effect on gas prices, or the president doesn't control gas prices, or there's more drilling taking place actually under former Vice President Biden than under Donald Trump. That's something that we hear a lot of.
Yeah.
I heard it on CNN this morning. Here's the problem. No. So, for those of you who don't know, because you may live in some states where you actually have decent gas prices, and by decent, I mean horrible, but not, swallow a gun horrible. It's now reached across the country over $5 a gallon as of Saturday, June 11th.
Yeah.
Here you go.
For the first time ever, the average price of gas nationwide has hit an unprecedented $5 a gallon. But for drivers in California, that price is still a bargain.
She sounds so happy about it.
For citizens in California, it's a good thing they won't need fuel to keep warm.
Yeah. By the way, citizens of California, you haven't seen $5 a gallon in decades, have you? Meaning it's well above.
Yes. Tom Selleck's taking all the gas for his avocado ranch.
This isn't my first high gas rodeo.
No, it's not.
No, I've been here before.
So let's go through some of the. Why is this? Why are gas prices so high? And I know that this is one of the things people inherently know. I know we had 8 years of Obama, then we had 3 years of Donald Trump. I don't really count the 4th year. That's what I call the lost year because of the fabricated government reaction to the pandemic. Then we have Joe Biden. It's really valuable. 8, 3, and we're going to have 4. Mm-hmm. High gas prices, record low gas prices, high gas prices again. So you probably inherently know that it has something to do with the former vice president, but they've been trying to convince you that it doesn't. And let me give you some information just so you know it's wrong. All references available at louderwithcrowder.com. Here is a claim that they are currently making. You will hear this. Gas prices are only high right now because of what? Russia.
The average price of gas nationally today hit $5 a gallon for the first time. What's your message to the American people, especially as we head into the summer months, who are really struggling with this?
It's outrageous what the war in Ukraine is causing.
Okay.
I love that. It's Putin's price hike.
Yes.
It's Russia's problem for oil prices. Come on, Joe.
Well, here's the truth, is the majority of the gas price hikes took place before Russia. They were on a steep upward trend. Just to be clear.
Look steep.
Yes.
Jeez.
About as steep as the right angle in the horse's back after that rider gets.
Just a black diamond hill.
Yeah. But there aren't even moguls. It's just a straight.
No, it's just, there's no bumps.
No bumps. Now, so the majority took place before Russia. You know that, and I know that. And that might change, by the way, because the prices are going to continually rise, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's because of Russia. They were going up before Russia. They'll continue to go up. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, it clearly shows that there was an increase before the invasion. You have that chart right there. Okay, here's another truth. Since January 18th, 2021, Biden has, and this is important to note because people say, well, the president doesn't have control over gas prices. It's actually probably one of the issues where they have more control than most people, and that's because oil, in particular petroleum, is a highly speculative market. What do I mean by that? Sometimes you say, well, hold on, well, it doesn't have to do with supply and demand. It has very much to do with, regarding prices, projections.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking about future earnings. And so really helps determine whether you're going to drill, whether you're going to pull back. You will see a rubber band effect sometimes depending on when someone comes into office where gas prices go down just because of policies that may not be enacted for another year or two because they're willing to invest knowing that they'll recoup it. So that being said, former Vice President Biden has taken over 80 actions impacting what would impact gas prices, fossil fuels, largely against them. And here's the thing. Are you really surprised? I know people will argue this and say, well, there's more to it. Look. Again, the rhetoric matters when that directly affects the market.
Yeah.
Here's former Vice President Biden in his run-up in the election. He was clear.
I just want to give him a chance to respond, and then we can come back.
Let's stay on.
We're staying on this issue.
Number one, no more subsidies for fossil fuel industry. No more drilling on federal lands. No more drilling, including offshore. No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends. Number one.
Are you ready to commit to the responsible phase out of fossil fuel production as part of your administration?
I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I am not going to cooperate with you, okay?
Now, before we get to the executive actions, you work for a fossil fuel company. I'll just tell you this.
Yeah.
Let's say the president said, I guarantee you, I will end Louder with Crowder. What do you think I would do? I would say I've probably got another year or until the next tax day where I get an auditing that destroys me. I'm going to pull back and save my money right now. Am I going to invest? Am I going to hire more people? Am I going to expand? No. Would I start drilling more? No. Would I invest in more equipment? No. Would I make more hires? No, of course not. You wouldn't increase the supply. You would reduce it because you try and collect the profits that you can because it's a limited window. When he says, in no uncertain terms, I'm going to end it. Now, let's look at his 80 executive actions that he has taken, by the way. I believe it was 80 actions. I don't know how many of them are executive orders, but a lot of them are executive orders.
Yeah, these are actions.
So here's one, Paris Climate Accord. He decided to join that Paris Climate Accord, which, by the way, does nothing to curb China's emissions.
Nope.
And...
And they matter.
Right. They'll get right on that. He revoked the Keystone XL pipeline. To be clear, sometimes they'll try and tell you that, well, Keystone is already done. Keystone XL is different from Keystone.
Yep.
He supported increases of $230 billion in taxes on oil. He reinstated the social cost of carbon metric. Some of the executive orders, there's day one, the climate change order. You have on January 27th, climate financing. You have on, is this May 20th?
Yeah.
Climate financial risk. Then you have... is this
December 8th?
December 8th, clean energy economy, 100% electric vehicle fleet by 2035. That's before Elon Musk wanted to buy Twitter.
Now he's like, hope he gets to the moon.
Yeah.
Mars.
So it's very clear. Look, you have to look at these actions all going one way. And the claim that they're making, of course, that's going to affect the market. Now, here's another claim. Good, Tim. And they'll say this, well, it's a bounce back from COVID. Right, that's what's happening. It's a bounce back now because more people are driving because they weren't driving in COVID. Here's the truth, okay? There's no actual data that would suggest that at all. I think we have an overlay right here. You can see that before and after COVID kicked off, it was still hovering right around $2.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
That's not where the steep increase took place.
Yeah, and it matters. So when people talk about it, the policies not mattering on like a Keystone or something like that, or a Paris Climate Accord, like you said, if you pull supply from the market globally that the United States was able to produce or was able to produce in the future in a couple of years with Keystone, right? If you pull that supply from the market, that means the prices are going to go up. People are going to say, oh, there's not going to be as much oil available in the market, which means prices have to go up, right? Or we have to increase capacity significantly. We have not had a good track record of getting OPEC to play ball in the past. They do kind of what they want to do, which is why Joe Biden is going hat in hand to Saudi Arabia and other Middle Eastern countries and also to Venezuela.
It's
and
also
saying,
they can poop in the
please.
hat.
Well,
Yeah.
he does need more hats.
His hat is just it's a porta potty, really.
But that's why he's doing it. And so people say he has no impact on this have no idea how this works. And the White House did say, thank God, that they're going to be releasing more oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which is really for times of war, so that we can make sure that we can fight.
Well, we're at war. It's a proxy war with Ukraine, Russia. We're kind of send them $40 billion.
Basically, I think in this release, it's maybe a couple of million barrels. That'll do what I think a few hours worth of American consumption.
Yeah.
Another problem not solved.
No.
That he also takes no responsibility for.
Right, and that's important because here's another claim that they make, and this is the one that you hear everywhere right now because they know that it's okay, checkmate if it's not true, and Americans inherently believe that their claim is not true, so they just repeat it, just like safest, most secure election in history. So they're claiming right now that there's actually more domestic drilling under former Vice President Joe Biden than President Trump. That's what they're claiming. No. Okay. So let me explain to you. That's the truth. No. Let me explain to you. And this is one of those areas where nuance does matter, but it can be distilled. It's pretty simple, actually. The total number of permits issued under Biden in 2021, it was higher than Trump's highest year. Okay. Yeah. So Biden, first year was 4,800 drilling permits, right, in 2021. Trump was 4,600, 4,631 in 2020. Now, here's the thing. The permits issued are for leases sold mostly under Trump. Yeah. Think of them, remember rollover minutes? They're rollover leases. And then if you look at the trend, as expected, the Biden administration slashed the approvals for drilling by August of last year. So look at that chart. They go, look, there are more permits because Donald Trump was basically on his way to set a record year of permits. Then Biden came in. There were these permits that he couldn't necessarily stop. Boom, slash them. If you actually look on a month to month, the month where this was being slashed in August, guess what? It's very, very different than the months preceding it.
Yeah.
This is important. But the thing is, when they were campaigning, right, because they have to, this is what you see with the left. They have to be dishonest about their positions because they've got to appeal to the abortion up until 9 months and including birth period. They've got to appeal to the Green New Deal crowd. They've got to appeal to the crowd that turns off, for example, Latino voters. So he has to say, I will end fossil fuels. Yeah. Then when they get into office, they have to govern more moderately. Why? Because Americans often, and sometimes this is unfortunate, vote with their pocketbook. It's really hard to vote against your own self-interest, even if you are principled. And in this case, you just it's serendipitous because the two line up. You can vote your principles and you can vote your pocketbook. So then he gets into office. We go from, I'm going to end fossil fuels, to now things are so bad, they're making the claim, end fossil fuels, there's more drilling under me than under Donald Trump. Well, yeah, that's because of the first half of the year, which you then stopped.
Right. And he did it for show, not just for the American voters, but he did it, that slash in August. I think it was down to like 170 permits basically in that month.
Right.
He did it in advance of going to a climate summit.
Exactly.
He was basically trying to show the world, look, see, I'm doing my part, guys, right? This is what happens. He's coming into office, and at the end of last year, the oil company said, holy crap, these leases are 2 years. They usually come with a 2-year automatic renewal if they apply for it, right? They're going, we have to get leases because this guy's going to shut it down.
Right.
The White House's response to all this is to continue to taper it off and go as low as they possibly can, and then say, like you said, more. But here's the thing. They just issued a statement today saying the oil company CEOs, this was a threat from Biden to the CEOs, increase production and stop price gouging. He's now blaming them. You know what capacity is right now? It's over 90%. We're roughly at about the same level we were in like 2015, 2016. That's not a problem.
And by the way, that's important to note because let's do that math, right? Okay, more permits total because of what happened under Donald Trump and what happened in those last 6 months. But we're at capacity. What does that tell you? They're sitting on the leases because they don't want to develop it. They don't want to develop. They're not actually implementing the capabilities to drill. Why? Because it's very expensive. And this guy may or may not end fossil fuels. Keep in mind, it's not, I'm not a fan. It's not, let's find a middle ground, let's do it. It's, I'm going to, imagine if someone walked into any office, any company, and just said, I will end you. And then said, can't we find common ground? I don't know. You're pretty emphatic about that whole ending me stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and in his threat to the CEOs, he basically pulled like a Mel Gibson. He's like, you're a terrible person, but I will give you one more chance.
I will give you one more chance.
So this is his thing. He basically said, he threatened to enact war powers, executive powers given to the president for times of war, for war production, right? He said, I will do this, but maybe we can come up with some solutions. Maybe you guys have some ideas on how to increase capacity.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't just turn this off and on. If you look at a chart, which was linked in the article, if you look at a chart, it shows you when COVID hit, it was a slow trickle down because demand went down very quickly.
Yeah.
After it ended, it was a slow trickle up. And then in December of this last year, it trickled down just a little bit more. That's why they're making more profits. They had excess capacity. So they had excess expenses that they were paying out and not making any.
And they didn't know they were going to be falling off a cliff.
No,
when Joe Biden said, no more drilling.
It's stupid. None of these arguments are honest. And people like Robert Reich out there saying that, this is just price gouging. No, it's not.
Robert Reich?
He really hates Robert
I hate
Reich.
that guy because
he even asked the question.
He's out there like spewing this crap.
He's not a fan.
Going on CNN and saying that these things are true, and it's not true.
No, it's not true.
Not at all true.
No, none of this is true. So the idea is it Russia? No, absolutely not. It was COVID? No.
He blamed Ukraine.
Yes, he blamed
fairness.
Mostly the Ukrainian
It was
people.
mostly the Ukrainian people getting attacked by Russians.
Yeah, something also about $40 billion that, I don't know, we couldn't use here in the United States.
We don't need that money.
And then there's more drilling under Joe Biden than under Donald Trump. Well, okay, you know what? If PolitiFact and these people were being honest, they'd say, well, that's partially true, but that's because of the rollover from Donald Trump. And then Joe Biden has, boom, basically put a moratorium. He's actually cut the drilling. So if someone tries to present that to you, all references are available at louderwithcredit.com. I know this is what is being presented right now. It is arrogant from the left to go, there are more drilling permits under Biden. They don't actually understand economics. They don't actually understand what's happening with the oil industry, and they don't understand what. There's a huge difference between hard goods and services and a market that is largely based on speculation. Which, by the way, supporters of speculative markets, they tend to overwhelmingly give money to Democrats. Just to be clear, big banks, Democrats.
You know how to fix this, though? One of the ways that you fix this is say, okay, you want to speculate on oil prices and drive them up or drive them down, investors? Take delivery. This was developed for oil companies to make sure that they could have supply and make sure our system wasn't interrupted. That's who it's for. Right. When speculators drive up prices, which they can do sometimes,
yes,
just say, okay, you have to take delivery.
Do they take DiGiorno?
Yeah,
in your Manhattan 1,000 square foot apartment that cost you $7 million.
Is that regular?
It's DiGiorno. It's DiGiorno. Oh, good. That's why it sucks. Okay, Dave is going to be this Friday in Grand Junction, Colorado. Then him and I are live, of course, Colorado Springs.
Yes.
I think we have, if you want to buy your tickets, I don't know if we got, go to louderwithcredit.com/tour. There are a couple that we're keeping available to walk up because some of you are actually driving and walking up.
Yeah, there's not much on the site. I was checking today. I don't think there's anything, but there might be.
We might be releasing some walk-ups on the day.
If you walk from out of state, you'll get a ticket.
Well, yeah. But also, you can't afford the gas. So we're going to play What's in the Box. And tomorrow, Cultural Appropriation Month. Have your costumes ready for Taiwan. YouTube, you're never going to know what's in this box. Only Mug Club. Piss off.